Hey, how's it going? Wanted to do a part 3 in the video of how we're going to level this floor. You can see we've screwed in, I don't know if you can see it here, but we've screwed in all the subfloor, the old floor. So everything's stable, walked around, there's no squeaks. So now we got to figure out how to make up for a pretty large bow in the joist here, the center load bearing joist here. Everything's secured down below. I actually added one more column to stabilize everything, and so now basically all we're going to do is I know exactly how high I want my floor to be. I want it to match the existing floor. I went and calculated how thick my plywood was, and so that means I shot the laser across the floor, and let me show you the laser real quick here. So you're gonna need to have a hole in the floor to be able to shoot this kind of low grade. I happen to already have some holes, so I just put this laser in one side of the room, and there it is. It's just a ring laser, and you can actually see on the wall kind of where that is. So what I first shot what the height of the floor would be. Then I shot the lower side of the floor where it's going to attach to the subfloor. Then I'm going to subtract the thickness of my 3/4 inch plywood. And by doing that, I have my final height. Let me see if I can show you here. This is the final height of what these 2x4s need to be cut to in order to compensate for the 3/4 inch OSB plywood deck, and then the 3/4 inch hardwood floor. So, there's no math involved. You just have to kind of have a good idea where you're end up at. Then you want to tie that that 2x4 into the ground, into the floor with some nice big screws, because you don't want that moving. You kind of want to know exactly how high it's going to be once you tie it all together. And then basically just put a bunch of tick marks along where you want to cut. So I don't know if you can see those. It's going to be a very thin sliver here. As we go into the room where it gets deeper, it'll be a bigger and bigger sliver. But basically, that's just going to compensate for the height of where the joist should be. So, like I said, you could sister the joist. You could actually take this entire floor up and do this with a big piece next to the joist. I'm not doing that just because we don't really want to leave the whole floor open because we live here. So this is my solution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that. Speaking of tools, I'm going to cut that with a Festool track saw. So there's the track that I'm going to use, and there's the saw, TS55 REQ saw. And all I'm going to do is basically, you can kind of visualize this. If this laser was an actual cutting laser and you could laser that line, you'd end up with a sliver down at the bottom. That's basically the sliver that we're going to save, and we're going to cut everything from the line up, remove that material, and then screw it back on the floor, and we'll have this long thin piece that perfectly makes up for the slope in the floor. And we'll just keep doing that. So there'll be one here, there'll be another one on top of the next joist, on top of the next joist, on top of the next joist, until we've made a whole bunch of pieces, and I'll show you what that looks like after we get that done. And then we'll throw on some plywood, and we'll be able to start leveling the floor. All right, I hope that helps.